What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it, man. Y'all already know what it is. We got this game on Monday night. We don't have a game on Sunday. It gives us a little bit of an extra day of rest. Excuse me. So things look to be on the up and up. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Monday night football game that gives us, some prime time, exposure there. The NFC West pretty much has this week has prime time outside of the Arizona Cardinals, who we already know are eliminated from the playoffs, and I don't think anyone wants to see them in prime time anyway. So the Rams and the Seahawks just played on Thursday, and talk about a barn burner. That was a great game. But I can tell you right now, I know Rams fans are pissed. You know why? Because the door has now been opened. See, by the Seahawks winning, that now gives the Niners a chance to take the NFC West and possibly the number one seed as well. Let me explain this to you. So basically, we own the tiebreaker over either team because we beat both of them in the first go around. So we're good there. Plus, we have the better NFC West divisional record. The only team we've lost to is the Rams. We have not lost to anyone else. We beat the Cardinals both times. We took one L with the Rams, and we beat the Seahawks the first go around. We played the Seahawks the last game of the season. So hypothetically speaking, if the Seahawks take at least one L and we wind up tied with them, we're solid. Nothing to be concerned about. Everything is peach king, hunky dory, all that good stuff. But this game against the Colts matters a lot. The reason being, it matters and it doesn't. The reason being is because for our playoff seeding, it doesn't really have a bearing on it to an extent outside of our overall record. Our playoff seeding relies on our NFC record and our NFC West record. Like our in-division games mean more, but we still need to win this one. And we should because it's against Old Man Rivers. And let me say this. There's no disrespect to Phillip Rivers, no disrespect to what he's done in the league and, all of that good stuff. But just being honest with you, I'm sorry, man, when you come off the couch after not playing football for 4 or 5 years, it's rough out there. And it's not the easiest thing to do. This man's been coaching high school football. Yes, he does have a knowledge of the system that he is in. All of these things come into play. But at the end of the day, Phillip Rivers is still an old man off the couch. That's just what it is. There's no way around it, man. You know what I'm saying? He came out last week and he played admirably, but there wasn't nothing too crazy about what Phillip Rivers was doing. Numbers were extremely pedestrian, and he looked like a dude that just came off the couch. The plus for the 49ers is Phillip Rivers has no mobility. He was never a mobile guy when he was in the league in the first place. So it's not as if he's going to randomly turn into a mobile guy now after being on the couch and sitting around having 10 kids. So it kind of is what it is. Now, jokingly, but realistically, somebody made a comment basically stating like, hey, I believe your league benefits run out 4 or 5 years after you leave, like for your kids and stuff. So somebody somebody said that jokingly his wife was like, look, the benefits are fantastic. Like you go back in, this restarts the clock, and it will. So basically he plays these couple of games, whether they get into the playoffs or they don't make him none because basically, hey, you get what you wanted. You get the league to be able to basically start taking care of kids again when they got to go to the doctor and stuff. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Hey, take advantage of whatever you can take advantage of. I am not mad at you. Believe me, I will definitely be that person to be able to say, hey, do what you got to do, man. I'm all for the players getting their money and taking advantage of everything because the league makes tons and tons of money where the players see a fraction of what the actual revenue is. I mean, hell, if I'm not mistaken, I think the league is still classified as what do they call it? Basically, they're tax exempt. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember the name of it right now. It escapes me. But to me personally, it's confusing that Rivers will come off the couch come to a team who basically the Colts started 8-2 people. And they were, beating teams, blowing teams out. They were looking great. Daniel Jones looked like he had a resurrection to his career. We all saw Anthony Richardson get relegated to the bench. All of these things start coming into play. Now, of course, I think they would have put Anthony Richardson out there, but he's recovering from an orbital bone fracture, and he's still taking time. He just came off the injury list. I think he's supposed to be maybe the backup or the emergency quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, for this game. But basically, they had to bring in somebody, and they went and got Phillip Rivers just because of the knowledge of the system, and they just hope that they kind of keep the ball rolling. Here's the thing. Phillip Rivers didn't come in and do that last week. It was necessarily – here's the one thing I will say is the Colts defense, solid. They fought through everything you can think of. And the beauty of this is it shows you that they still got to fight. They're like, hey, look, we still got a chance to get in these playoffs. We are not letting that slip through our fingers. We are going to fight with every inch of our soul to be able to continue to keep winning and continue to keep going. Because at the end of the day, honestly, you got to think about Jonathan Taylor. He would love to go to the playoffs. He's a fantastic back. I think he's the best back in the league. I don't care what anybody says. And I know my 49er faithful would look at me and be like, what about CMC? And I look back at him and say, what about him? I'm sorry, Jonathan Taylor is one of the best running backs in the league. He has the numbers to prove it, and he goes out there on the field and proves it week in and week out. I love what CMC does, but CMC is probably the best two-way back currently. But if you're talking about just the best back in general, it's got to be Jonathan Taylor, man. There's nobody out there that's looking better than the guy. I mean, I could pull up the numbers, but that'd be a waste of time. So at the end of the day, when you come and you take a look at the Indianapolis Colts, like I said, they started out 8-2. The Colts currently right now are on a 4-game losing streak. They have lost to the Chiefs, the Texans, the Jags, and the Seahawks. Now, all of these are formidable teams outside of Kansas City, who has been eliminated from the playoffs. And I continue to tell you, I'm so elated that there's no Kansas City in the playoffs. And to be honest with you, this is the year that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson should be trying to find every which way to take advantage of him not being in their way. I do believe that this is a 2-year span that Kansas City does not make the playoffs. They are swearing up and down that it's a 9-month recovery for Patrick Mahomes, and he should be back for the start of the season. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think so. I think that this is a 2-year layoff for the Chiefs. And I think that, after that 2 years, they'll come back and they'll be a little bit stronger and a little bit better. But I don't see Patrick Mahomes coming back in that 9-month span and being able to make it out there for the first game of the season and be able to have the mobility and do the things that he does, because that's Patrick Mahomes' superpower. His superpower is his mobility. He doesn't really make plays from the pocket like that on a consistent basis. And I'm not saying that he can't. I'm just saying that's not his MO. What he does do is he does get mobile. He does move around. He is able to make off-schedule throws. He is able to, contort his body in ways you can't imagine. Now, coming off of an ACL injury, you're not going to have that confidence in your leg to be able to do all of that, especially not pushing it all the way up to the beginning of the season where you think you're just going to magically show up and everything is going to be great for you again, and you're just going to come out and just be the Patrick Mahomes of old. Ain't going to happen, bro. I'm sorry. And I say that just because ACL injuries are different. It's not like you tore a pec or something like that, or, tore a tricep off of your bone or something to that effect. There's different ways that this stuff makes a lot of sense, and it assists you and it helps you. And an ACL injury for a quarterback is definitely a hard thing to come back from, let alone just to come back and just play like nothing ever happened. Now, mind you, they've already stated that he has already had successful surgery, which to me, once again, is mind-blowing because that was quick as hell. You tear it, the next thing you know, you automatically just has, I don't know. It's almost as if they knew this was going to happen. Either way, I will state that this is the time for any AFC quarterback to take full advantage of him not being in their way, because Patrick Mahomes has been the king of the AFC for the last 7-8 years. You got to go through him to get to the AFC Championship game and or the Super Bowl. These are just facts, people. I'm just telling you the truth of it. So it definitely has been, a tumultuous ride for him. But either way, man, which got best luck in recovery. Hopefully things work out for him. But focusing on this game, you know what I'm saying? The Colts started out once again. Daniel Jones, he's out there, ice cold. He's doing it. Danny Dimes, he's the man. He's doing everything. They start out 8-2. They are now on a 4-game losing streak. What's going on, TD? So they have not much of anything left. You know what I mean? Going on a 4-game losing streak, dropping from 8-2 to now 8-6 is an ugly thing. Now, on the other side of things, what's going on, Throwback? The beauty of this is, hey, San Francisco 49ers, we are on a 4-game winning streak after us starting our season 6-4. You know what I'm saying? We were 6-4. We had, yeah, definitely so. I agree with you, Throwback. But we're 6-4. We got through that time, we had to go with the ups and downs. And Purdy was here, then he wasn't. Came back and threw 4 interceptions. Like, we had all of these things going on. Mac Jones is a fantastic backup. Seems like he came over here to San Francisco, and this is where he should have been the whole time. But either way, we got a viable backup, so we're happy with that. But Brock Purdy is back. We're on a 4-game winning streak. And we don't have, you know what I'm saying? And we don't have the people that we normally have. There is no Brandon Ayuk. We know we ain't going to see him at all, period. He's gone. At the end of the season, they're going to cut him. We have no Nick Bosa. We have no Fred Warner. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a true number 1 receiver at this present time. We are out there running with anybody that can get on the damn field. And right now, if memory serves me correct, our starting receivers for this game are most likely going to be Demarcus Robinson and Juwan Jennings. Because Ricky Pearsall re-aggravated that PCL injury, and they ain't sure if he's going to be able to go. And right now, it's starting to, the lights are dimming for Ricky Pearsall. And the reason being is because, once again, last season, you can't hold that against him. Man got shot. There ain't nothing you can do. Comes on a little bit strong, I'm saying, toward the end of the season, starting to look a little bit better. This last game, I think he had 96 yards receiving, all of that. But the minute we wind up with the situation of, him, I believe they said it was a hip drop tackle that happened, but it's confusing, man. Now the man's injured again. So it's like, I don't want to count him out. But he's starting to force me, and he's starting to back me into a corner with that. There's nothing I can really do. I can't do much with Ricky Pearsall because why? Ricky Pearsall is not showing up, showing out, and being able to stay, as healthy as possible. And this, yeah, we all know this, man. You know, you know how this works. Come on, Throwback. The minute John Lynch says we're encouraged, that means it's going to take more time. That's what I've started to understand that term meaning, because it doesn't make sense. Like, you always come in, you always say something stupid and idiotic, you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing against John Lynch, but the coaches speak, or the GM speak, doesn't fly with fans. We're not dumb. We know what you're doing. We know what the situation is. You could just be a little more honest with us and tell them, hey, look, man, dude ain't ready. He'll be on the field when we say you get on the field. Next question. And that's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But I get it to an extent. Yeah, you want to tell, you don't want to give teams a leg up knowing what's going to happen, what couldn't happen. At the end of the day, these teams ain't dumb. They know injuries in and out. They understand how long these teams can take. And they watch players consistently to see how they've progressed through this thing. Ricky Pearsall took, I don't know how many weeks off just for that PCL injury. And if he re-aggravated it, we ain't going to have Ricky Pearsall at all. Pearsall ain't going to be a part of the playoffs, none of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're fighting for. Both these teams are fighting for playoff spots, and they both need these wins very badly. Strictly being, for the Colts, they got to keep it. They got to win to stay alive in the AFC playoff race as far as just a wild card, and we're trying to stay, above water in the wild card as well. With the loss that the Rams took, that dropped them from 1st to 5th. Because we're currently in 6th. So, you know what I'm saying? That's definitely rough for them. And I know they're pretty pissed off about that. They don't like the fact that they took that L, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. But when it comes to this game with the 49ers versus the Colts, you can't really – there's not a ton of research you're going to be able to do on Phillip Rivers, once again, because he's been out of the league for 4 years. along with the fact that this pass game, I mean, heck, he's just trying to knock the rust off. And if you take a look at it, if you're just looking at this game that he had versus the Seahawks and you're only looking at the numbers, there ain't much to go on here, people. He was 18 to 27 for 120 yards, one TD, one interception. He was sacked once. You know what I'm saying? 4.4 yards a throw. They didn't really have any big throws. When I'm looking at the long, when it comes to the catches, because that's what ESPN will give you, I don't see anything over 20 yards. Nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Phillip Rivers never had a cannon for an arm, so to say. Like, he didn't have a Patrick Mahomes type throw, you know what I'm saying? But he was formidable, and he definitely did have, you know what I'm saying, some big time throws to, Antonio Gates and Keenan Allen and, all of those guys. But it wasn't a situation where he was always being the 60, 70-yard bomb kind of dude. That just wasn't his thing. And we understand that. But at the end of the day, like I said, those numbers I just gave you are extremely pedestrian, so we can't really base anything off of that. That, once again, it's not going to rust off. You don't really know what you're doing. You're going against one of the best defenses in the NFL, and it's definitely, yeah. He shout out to my boy Teradome, man. He came with the Napoleon Dynamite reference there. He said he was throwing it like Uncle Rico, but. At the end of the day, man, when you take a look at everything and you see what the Indianapolis Colts have to offer, by way of their team, and by way of the threats that they do still have some viable threats. You cannot overlook guys like Jonathan Taylor. And we do have an issue with the run game. We have an issue with stopping it. Jonathan Taylor right now is sitting in 1,443 damn yards. The man is averaging, let me take a look. Rushing. Where's Jonathan Taylor at? Hold on. I don't know why ESPN does this crap. You give somebody some stuff and you don't give nobody no information. They always messing up. We'll take a look at it again. No, give me just a second. Let me refresh this. And the ESPN is still on crack. Okay, either way, man. Jonathan Taylor, I believe, is balling out of his mind. And I don't know why I can't get this thing to load right. That's super weird. I'm going to try it again, because I'm trying to get his averages and his numbers. But for some reason, ESPN acting like they don't want to show nobody no information. Yeah, no. So we're just trying to take a look at the stats here really quick. Give me just a second. No, it is just, okay, it's on crack. Either way, Jonathan Taylor got 1,443 yards. We still got 3 games left in the season. So he could definitely get to over 1,500 yards for the season, rushing and whatnot. And I do believe that, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be a very formidable talent. You still have Michael Pittman out there that you have to be concerned with. Let me take a look at something. Let me just go NFL.com and I'll pull Jonathan Taylor's numbers, because it's kind of weird that they ain't giving them to me. It's usually the easiest way to get it, and taking a look at things. But it's okay. We'll go through the teams and we'll get everything rolling. There we go. Colts. All right, let's go with stats. There we go. Indianapolis. What in the heck? Okay, I don't know what they are doing, but they are doing way too much. There we go. That's what I wanted. I wanted that. Okay. Here we go. Jonathan Taylor, 1,443 yards on the season. Currently, he is averaging, give me just a second. He's averaging 5.3 yards a carry, and the man has 16 touchdowns. Flat out insanity. 711. People, this tells you whether you hit Jonathan Taylor or whether you don't hit Jonathan Taylor. That man is running. Look at the numbers he just put. I'm sorry. So once again, love CMC, love what he's doing. Don't give me any crap about it right now. Jonathan Taylor's the best back in the league at the moment. If ands, buts, nothing. You can't tell me different. And there's nothing you're going to bring to me about Christian McCaffrey that's going to make him better. I love Christian McCaffrey. I love my team. But I am not a homer who overlooks obvious things. That just doesn't make sense to me. Okay? I am a diehard Chicago Bulls fan, born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Mike was my guy. Mike is still my guy. But at the end of the day, I can tell you right now, I had to respect Kobe. I had to respect Kareem. I had to respect Magic. I had to respect Michael Cooper. I had to respect Byron Scott. I had to respect AC Green. Like, don't make me keep going down the list. The Lakers were a formidable franchise, playing at the Great Western Forum, one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen in your life if you've ever been there. But you can't sit up there and continue. Like, some people will try to continually make their argument about who's better when it comes to that. Now, if you want to do that, we can do that. So I'll do this. Quarterback, we have the advantage. Okay. We got Brock Purdy. He's younger. He's been doing more. He's been continuing, you know what I'm saying, all of those things. And no, I'm not going to preach Lakers all day. Okay. You keep your Lakers over there, TD. This is Bulls over here, buddy. Bulls Nation. I will ride with my team to the death. Even though we suck, I still got to stick with them, man. You know what I'm saying? It's been my team. It ain't going to go nowhere. But what I can say is, quarterback, we have the advantage, obviously. Brock Purdy's younger. He's better. He's been playing. He's been in the playoffs. He's doing things, you know what I'm saying? But when you come to look at the running back, I'm going to give the edge to the Colts. I'm sorry. I love CMC. I really do. I think CMC is one of the best two-way backs to ever grace the field. And the 49ers have had two of those in CMC and Roger Craig, who should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. And I don't know why the Hall of Fame keep BSing him, but y'all need to let that man in. He literally was the blueprint for all of these backs that you see, including Marshall Faulk. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing that out there. It's still an atrocity that man is not in the Hall of Fame. But either way, if you come and you take a look at the receivers, it's going to be a bit of a struggle because the 49ers, the 49ers have their receivers and the Colts have theirs, but their receivers, unfortunately, are just a tad bit better than ours. When you come and you take a look at things as far as the numbers and statistics here, and now they ain't gonna magically give me Jonathan Taylor. Now, I told you ESPN be on some extra shit. Jonathan Taylor, he has 38 receptions for 318 yards and 2 TDs. He's averaging 8.4 yards a catch. But when you come and you take a look at it, really, they have Alec Pierce. They have Michael Pittman Jr. Those are the top two receiving leaders on their team, and both of those are actually wide receivers. So both of them, respectively, are over the 700-yard mark. They have 3 people over 700 yards receiving. With Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr., and Tyler Warren, whereas the San Francisco 49ers currently, as far as receiving goes, oddly enough, Christian McCaffrey is leading us in receiving, and that is not good. You don't want your running back to be leading your team in receiving. That tells you that you ain't got no receivers, because Christian McCaffrey is far and away the best receiver that we have on the team. The man has 820 damn yards. Next closest receiver is a guy who has barely played this season and has only had a couple of games where he just went off. And that's Kendrick Bourne at 499 yards. He wasn't even here at the beginning of the season. Well, he was, but it wasn't like we were like, okay, KB's going to, wind up leading the team receiving. Right after that, Juwan Jennings, 495. Right after that, George Kittle, 484. Then Ricky Pearsall, who's only played 8 games, 443. So it tells you that they've definitely got the better receiving core. Once again, when it comes down to it, you look at it. With JJ and KB out there, those guys are far and away, misses things. Now, JJ has 7 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? George Kittle has 6. Christian McCaffrey has 5. And then when you look at these dudes, Michael Pittman Jr., 7 touchdowns. Then you got Tyler Warren. He has 4. Alec Pierce only has 2. So you start to look at the numbers, you kind of see what's going on, and you can understand why, you might give another team an edge. I'll give the Colts the edge in the receiver room as far as that is. Now, as far as the receivers being dogs, you know what I'm saying, and being able to block and do those types of things, that's always going to be the Niners, you know what I'm saying, because we're good like that. Like I said, we could go into this game starting Juwan Jennings, Kendrick Bourne, and Demarcus Robinson. That could be our starter. That could be our 3. That could be our 1, 2, 3. So you never know how this is going to work out. KB out the slot is actually pretty good. The only thing about KB is KB gets you yardage, but he does not score. And that's the frustrating thing about it. And I'm pretty sure that frustrates him as well because he's a really good dude. He's a very humble guy. He is a very high energy kind of guy. And it's a little rough when you just can't get in the end zone, man. That's probably the worst part. But you gotta love what KB brings to the table. We love everything that he does, and we're very happy that he's back home because we needed the help. Believe me, we needed the help. With Brandon Ayuk playing games, being very childish, not showing up, not wanting to follow the rules, not wanting to do the things that he was supposed to do. I see Brandon Ayuk getting cut and getting a 1-year proven deal. I don't see some team throwing a bag at him just because it wouldn't make sense. If you see how he acted with us, you're going to throw a bag at a dude and you don't even know if this guy's going to show up to meetings. You don't even know if this guy's going to stay on track or on course with the recovery schedule that you have for him. You're going to throw a bag at that dude. Now, mind you, there's a whole off season. There's no reason he doesn't go directly into OTAs fully healthy, ready to go. No reason at all. So whoever picks up BA, he should be ready to go from the jump. He should hit the floor, hit the ground running. There should be no ifs, ands, or buts. If BA has any type of minor setbacks, it's just going to look stupid on him, and it's going to look very bad that he didn't take advantage of the things that he was supposed to and do the things he was supposed to get his recovery right when you had more than enough time off. You ain't done nothing all year. You ain't been playing football. You disappeared. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Shanahan literally got up there and said straight up, I ain't seen him since the injury. That tells you everything you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Now, once again, as I previously have stated, I could not necessarily Brandon Ayuk for not trusting the doctors here. I would have still kept on my own regimen and my own physical therapy and things of that nature because the 49ers, I'm sorry, we stay injured. And I wouldn't trust a guy. I wouldn't trust a medical staff where our players consistently get injured week in and week out. We barely can keep anybody healthy. Now, mind you, on the injury front, we may have Tatum Bethune back. We may have Sammy O possibly back. We'll see exactly what happens. Of course, we'll see them in limited capacity as far as practicing goes. But the possibility of getting some of those dudes back is definitely a big help because we need them. We need everybody that we can get when it comes to that. But when it comes down to the tight end, I'm always going to give the 49ers the edge if that's what we're talking about because it's George Kittle. Come on now. I don't have to say anything more. Like, they're going to look and tell me all they want about Tyler Warren, and I'm going to look and tell them Tyler Warren bases his game off of George Kittle. Sorry. So as far as the tight end goes, 49ers would have the advantage because Kittle is Kittle, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. As far as the offensive line goes, I would say their offensive line is a little bit better than ours. Our offensive line is playing well, but we can only hope that we can keep that rolling. Then when it comes to the defense, I think the Colts defense is a little bit better than ours, but we'll take a look at the numbers and see what we got. As the 49ers are bad when it comes to our sack numbers and things of that nature. I think we're worse than the league. We only have 16 sacks as a team. That's as a whole unit, and they have 36. So they doubled up what we have on our efforts, and they're definitely getting after the quarterback. When you take a look at the things defensively, you've got Kwity Paye and DeForest Buckner both with 4 sacks each, and then their leading sack guy is Leatu Latu. He's got 6.5. And then after that, you got a couple guys here sprinkled here and there that have sacks. Ebukam is over there, former 49er. And then you got, I'm going to call this dude Double A because I'm not about to try to say this name. He's got 3 sacks. And then you got 2 from Zaire Franklin, 2.5 from Nick Cross, Cam Bynum, Mekhi Blackman. It just starts to kind of spread around here and there. But the main guys seem to be DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye, and Leatu Latu. So, that's definitely a formidable thing. Currently, right now, they have 64 passes defense. We only have 41. We've got 5 interceptions on the year, and the Colts currently have 12. So this is why I'm saying their defense is definitely better. They've got you got a Sauce Gardner, you have a Mooney Ward over there, even though we don't really like saying that name because we understand exactly what he did when he was with us and how he just openly admitted that he took games off because he was mad he wasn't about to go get another bag. And to me, that's BS. You're supposed to play your heart out and work hard no matter what. Even if the end is in sight, you've done enough to go somewhere else and get paid. So don't be mad and, crap on the team that you're currently on. You're supposed to help them out. But when it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying? They're doing their thing as far as, like I said, that goes. The main guy with the interceptions is going to be Cam Bynum, their safety. And then, wow, 3 interceptions from the defensive lineman, Layatu Latu. So this dude is a dude to watch. You can't have 6.5 sacks and 3 damn interceptions as a defensive lineman. Okay, this is just, that tells me that I need to be worried about Layatu Latu. Wherever he is, I need to know. And if I'm Brock Purdy, I'm gonna need Jake Brendel to be on his A game and calling out these protections and making sure he tell me where that dude is. What's going on, Jet? Because that dude is not to be messed around with. You can't get 6.5 sacks and 3 interceptions as a defensive end. Hey man, I ain't knocking that kind of production. That's a beautiful thing. Now for the 49ers, of course, you know what I'm saying, the leading sack getter for us is Bryce Huff and Cleveland Farrell. We dragged him off the couch, but not off the couch as in he's been off the couch, been sitting there for years. He just been sitting there this season. And Cleveland Farrell came in for us, has been doing fantastic things. He's already got 4 sacks. Bryce Huff has 4 sacks. So those are the main dudes that we look to get after the quarterback, along with if we can get him back, Sammy O. And then when it comes to the interceptions, of course, Jair Brown had those 2. Demo has 2, and then the rest is history because we don't really have much more after that. So we just got to be on top of things. Looks like Renardo Green is leading us in passes defensed, which is a fantastic thing. That's great. So we just have to continue to buckle down. Now in this game, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this one? You talking about this? Yeah, this was a Christmas gift from my brother-in-law. Shout out my brother Jesse. He hooked me up with this. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, when you take a look at what the 49ers have to do on defense, when it comes to the Colts defense, we're going to have to be mindful of a lot of these cats. You're going to have to be mindful of anything. Oh, yeah. Kenny G, boy, what you know about Kenny G, man? Stop the TD. You don't know nothing about that Kenny G. But at the end of the day, we are definitely going to have to be very mindful of everyone they have on defense. I'm going to take a look and see what the injury report currently looks like, because that's definitely something that will tell us whether we have a good opportunity or not. But let's see what we got. Injury report. Let's see. See if I can find one that's fairly recent, because I like to have something that's not too bad or not too long ago. So we'll go with this one. Looks like it's about 17 hours ago. So this is coming from us, from the 49ers website. So for us, Nick Martin still didn't practice due to concussion protocol. Ricky Pearsall didn't practice at all due to the PCL. So then we got limited in practice: Tatum Bethune, Spencer Burford, Jordan Elliott, Renardo Green, Yetur Gross-Matos, who I can't stand, and I wish they would cut him already because he's a waste of time. And then Sammy O. And then full participant in practice, of course, Christian McCaffrey, Curtis Rourke, Trent Williams, and D. Winters. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys, they're perfectly fine. It's not an issue. But then when you come in, did not practice for the Colts, you have Ahmad Gardner, Anthony Gold, Bernard Raymond, and Grover Stewart. I don't think any of those dudes really matter. Limited in practice was Quentin Nelson and Anthony Richardson. Of course, like I said, I think Richardson is either the second. He's either the backup quarterback or the emergency quarterback due to the orbital bone injury. But I think he's probably going to be like more the reserve guy. Quentin Nelson, if he can, he'll play. Quentin Nelson is too damn good. But full practice, you got Amir Abdullah, DeForest Buckner, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Jermaine Pratt, and Daniel Scott. So this tells me that these guys are most likely going to wind up playing when it comes down to it, and that's going to be it. Yeah, I know you did because bro, I text you like two different times asking you if you was gonna do something. But hey, you woke up late. Hey, look, man, early bird get the worm now. Early bird get the worm, B does. But at the end of the day, basically what happens is, they have pretty much everybody on their defense ready to go. And there's nothing that's going to stop them. So they're going to come at us. They're going to come at us, I'm saying, as hard as they possibly can. Pause and do whatever they can to be able to win this game. We do have ourselves a nice little formidable defense and whatnot, and we can do some things and try to stop some guys. But this is going to be probably one of the biggest tasks in these final 3 weeks of the season for us because we've got to stop that offense. Now, mind you, once again, the key is keying in on Jonathan Taylor. If you can shut him down, you're going to force them to throw. And that means you're going to force old man Rivers to dig deep and try to find some way to be able to beat us. And I don't think that he can, not by himself. He's going to have that that he's going to have that run game and Jonathan Taylor go off to depend on, because other than that, it's only going to wind up in a negative light for him if he has to throw too much. He honestly, look, man, I think we're the same age because I'm 44. I think he's either 44 or 45. And to be honest with you, when you've been only coaching and not necessarily throwing, it's different. Your arm, your body got to get back. You got to build that football callus. You know what I mean? So this is the opportunity for us as a unit to say, hey, we need to get after the Colts in every which way possible. So one thing that I did want to take a look at is the Colts offensive line has allowed 24 sacks all season long. So that's 24 in total. And then for us, our offensive line has only allowed 22 sacks. So that's a good thing. That means that both of these offensive lines are doing what they need to do to protect their QB. They're not on the ground as much. So that's definitely a good thing. That means that they're doing enough. And we've got to make this offensive line, fold and bend to our will. We're going to need the Cleveland Farrells and the Bryce Huffs, and the Jordan Elliott's and the CJ West and the Alfred Collins. We're going to need these guys to show up and show out. We're going to need to collapse that pocket and get to old man Rivers. And instead of just collapsing the pocket, we need to collapse the pocket and get home. So we need to do both of those things. You got to collapse. You got to close it in to a point where he has nowhere to go, and you got to finish. You know what I'm saying? So hell, using Jason Pinnock as a free rusher to be able to finish that play, using Jair Brown in the big nickel position as a finisher to get that sack. You know what I'm saying? Hell, blitzing a Curtis Robinson, or if he's back, blitzing a Tatum Bethune or a D Winters. Like, Salah's going to have to mix this up to a point where he's going to have to say, hey, I need to make sure that I'm doing the things the right way so I can get to Phillip Rivers, make his life a living hell. You know what I'm saying? Take him out of the game, period, and then force him to just keep feeding Jonathan Taylor and tell our defense, hey, this is what you got to stop. We've made him one-dimensional. They have to, they can't pass because Phillip can't do nothing because he didn't have the time. And then they can't, we want to make sure that they can't really run on us as well. So that's where, the old school term, the big hog mollies come in. You got to have your CJ West and your Alfred Collins in there plugging holes up and making sure that nobody can get past. You got to have your Jordan Elliott's working. All of these things got to come into play to be able to make sure that you can keep these things going and make sure that you slow down the run game at a bare minimum. Stopping Jonathan Taylor is going to be really tough. It's going to be very, very tough. But, slowing him down, I think we can pull that off at a bare minimum. I mean, the man is averaging over 100 yards a game, and that's tough to stop. That is very tough to stop. So we just got to do some things, and it Jets, right? It couldn't come at a better time for us to get a few guys back. So one thing I have said, and I will keep saying, if we get to the NFC Championship, because that is Kyle's MO, once he touches the playoffs, NFC Championship or bust. That is literally what his record is as far as a head coach goes, especially, obviously, his only head coaching gig is with us. So one thing that I do want to say is if we get to that NFC Championship game, don't be surprised if you see old 54 out on the field. That man is working, rehabbing, doing everything he can. I know it's so funny that the 49ers will continually peddle, narratives as if, oh, well, we're not going to see Fred. I haven't even thought about that and this, that, and the third. And it's like, come on, bro. Ain't nobody stupid. You got to think. We really got to think these fans are dumb as all hell if you don't know that we don't see the videos and that we don't understand timelines and that we don't do the research. In today's age, you have too much access to technology for you to be able to figure out if something can really be done or it cannot be done. And I can tell you right now, Fred Warner getting back for the NFC Championship, let alone getting back possibly for the damn Super Bowl, it can be done. And there is no way on God's green earth, I can tell you right now, if the 49ers, by some freak of nature chance, by some stroke of destiny or luck, are able to play the Super Bowl in their home stadium, you really think Fred ain't going to be out there? Look at his face. Bro, it's not happening. Fred will guarantee be out there. There's nothing anyone will be able to do to keep that man off the field. He could go out there and break his ankle again just because he wanted to play. That's how deep. That's the love of football that he has. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely going to be a good thing. Like just named all these people here. Eric Kendricks looked promising for Monday. I don't know, man. Kendricks, for him to come here and already have a damn calf injury, that tells me he ain't been doing nothing. He ain't been hydrating. He ain't been keeping himself right. So we'll see. We may or may not see him. I don't know. But at the end of the day, for me personally, the only one of those names I really don't care is Yetur Gross-Matos. I'm so tired of him. He's so off and on. Yetur Gross-Matos and Ben Bartch are the same person. They just play different positions. One's a defensive lineman, one's an offensive lineman. And the issue with both of them is they have degenerative knee issues. They play a game, you look at them, you're like, dang, man, this is great. And then you see them, next thing you know, they're on the injury report because they can't go nowhere because their knee is hurting again. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, man, I love what you do when you're on the field, but you ain't on the field enough for me to really care. Which is why I've always said, cut Ben Bartch, cut Yetur Gross-Matos. They are a waste of space. I don't need you for a game here and there. I need you consistently, week in and week out, and you can never give me that. Facts, people. Don't look at me. Go ahead and take a look at it. You know what I'm saying? It's very hit or miss. Well, I think because we play the Bears in prime time too, B-Dubs, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look at it. Because I know we got Monday night. I believe we play the Bears. That Bears is on Peacock Sunday Night Football. And then, this is the way we wind up. This is the way we wind up with that. If we win against the Colts and against the Bears, we are guaranteed prime time. They will flex whoever it is to give us that primetime game because that will literally possibly decide the number one seed in the NFC and our seeding in the NFC West. So you are 1,000% right on that. You are 1,000% right on that. Yes, sir. Yeah, we have an opportunity to finish the season in prime time football. That would be amazing. Like, could you imagine that, bro? We prime time three straight weeks. That'd be beautiful, man. That's a good look for the team. I mean, hell, you know what I'm saying? That's revenue for the Niners, all of that. And then at the same time, we just got to do what we got to do because we got to go to Seattle? Yeah, we got to. No, we're home because we already went to Seattle. We went to Seattle earlier to see. That was the first. Okay, yeah. So we at home too? Super wild. Okay, so now B-Dubs and made me, you dang it, B-Dubs, you over here derailing the show. I'm over here in a moment, and now you done hijacked it, but that's okay because I hijack your show sometimes too. It's nothing but love. So think about that, people. We got the Colts at 6:15 Monday night. All of that, man. We got that going. Then we got the Bears on Sunday Night Football. I've been waiting all day for a Sunday night. I can't sing, but I'm gonna give it a shot. And then if it comes down to that, look, that would be insane. Damn, that would be fan-freaking-tastic if we were to do that, man. B-Dubs is always one of the most fantastic researchers, too. Like, he can find some shit for you. That's one thing I give B-Dubs credit for, man. He's consistent with his with the output and everything like that. And he's consistent with his research. He's always doing a great job on that, man. And we could have another Sunday night game. You know what I'm saying? Playing the Seahawks, just trying to get that going, man. That would be fantastic. But back to this game really quick. When you take a look at it overall, the key is very simple. Put pressure on old man Rivers and get home. Hey, Dominator, what's going on, big dog? Oh yeah. It's always gonna be happy. Hey man, look, it's real simple. So you know what? I'm gonna say my final thoughts for this game, keys to winning, all that good stuff. We're gonna go ahead and make it happen. So final thoughts on this game: put pressure on old man Rivers and actually get home, like sack him, put him on his back. The other thing is key in on Jonathan Taylor and stop him. You've got to at least slow him down. You can't give Jonathan Taylor another 100-yard game. You can't have him having 3 or 4 touchdowns. None of that. You've got to stop that. As far as the receivers, you got to key in on Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman. As far as as far as the tight end, you got to key in on him as well. But the main focal point for us, as far as our defense goes, is to put Rivers on his back and to slow down Jonathan Taylor. If we don't do those two things, then we don't have to really worry too much about the receivers. You ain't going to be nobody to throw the ball because you're going to be too busy looking up at the sky. The next thing is on offense. What we have to do here is we are going to have to make this a game where we feature Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. We have to, on the flip side, we got to stop that duo. But on our side, on offense, we got to turn it around and make that duo the focal point. I honestly think if you go and you give George Kittle a ton of targets this game, he's going to show up and show out. I honestly do believe that if you can make sure that you get Juwan in those third and Juwan situations, he will show up and show out. I think that if you give Demarcus Robinson the time, he'll show up and show out. I'm telling you right now, if you start the game with Demarcus Robinson, JJ, and KB, you're going to win. You can make this happen. It can work. You just got to be able to make sure that the plays are right, make sure the targets are right, and we've got enough weapons. And hell, do it the same thing you did before. Make sure that you give Juice a couple of touches. Make them fear him again. Continually do that. Hit Juice on that wheel route. He always open. Juice might be slow as all get out. That boy might have cement shoes for feet, but I could care less. If the boy is open on a 20-yard route, I'm sorry, man, he is a man. If the man is open on a 20-yard route, hit him on a 20-yard route. I'm not about to force the ball to anybody else to double and triple cover when Juice is standing wide open. What's the significance? Do what you got to do. On offense, we just have to make sure that we use the plethora of weapons that we currently have and use those guys and make sure that we have a game plan and set up properly to be able to do what we need to do. Solid, I need you to key in on making Phillip Rivers feel the pain and making Jonathan Taylor realize this ain't no 100-yard game for you today. You go get 2 more in the rest of the season, but you ain't getting 1 today. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're on Alec Pierce. Make sure you're on Michael Pittman. Like, do those things to stop them. And our offensive line is going to have their work cut out for them because I'm telling you right now, with Latu and Defoe and all those guys, it's going to be a task. And like I said, man, they already doubled up what we done and a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? As far as the sacks go. So we have to be careful with those things. But those are the keys to winning. Key to winning, feed CMC, feed George Kittle. And on the flip side for the defense, it's very simple. Make sure Phillip Rivers is on his back and slow down. And make sure you sell out to stop Jonathan Taylor. That's all you have to really do. And you can beat this Colts team. And we can put them on a 4-game losing streak. We can put them on a 5-game losing streak and turn ours into a 5-game winning streak. So that's a beautiful thing right there. You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely no. You need So Dominator, you came in late. You need to be worried about Latu. And I know it sounds like I said the same name twice, but I did not. That dude got 6.5 sacks. He is healthy and ready to go. And Defoe got 4. I'm worried about Defoe too, but believe me, Latu, you got to be mindful of him too. They've got a solid defense there, and they are not looking to find themselves outside of the playoffs. So because this happened, we'll take a look at the, we'll take a look at the playoffs and see how things look and take a look at the seedings just to figure out what we can do as far as that's concerned. So give me just a second. I'm pulling up and then I'll share the screen. There we go. Screen share, Payal. Yeah. So when it comes over here to us now, here's the thing. We'll look at both. just for the sake of it, just because we want to make sure that people understand exactly what's being fought for. So here we go. Colts are on the outside looking in now because of this 4-game losing streak. They literally have lost their playoff seeding and they lost a spot at top, I believe, the AFC South. If that's what, yeah, they're in the AFC South. So the Texans now are on top, and the Jags now are on top, and they're the ones that are fighting and jockeying for position when it comes to the AFC South, because the Colts are on the outside looking in. And basically the Jags have taken control. They are in control of that division at 10-4. And they came off beating down somebody last week. I forgot who they did. They beat the brakes off somebody. I think Trevor Lawrence had 6 touchdowns himself last week. It was just insane. He balled out. And he threw them 3 of those TD passes to Travis Etienne. So you just got to be mindful about that. But the Colts need a win, because if they lose again, then they start flipping spots and they start falling further and further out of the playoff picture. We only have 3 games left in the season. They cannot afford a loss. Neither can we. You know what I'm saying? So when you come down, you take a look at the Niners. Here's the thing. This flipped. Now, mind you, both of these teams are in. They're both in. The Rams and the Seahawks are in. No matter what, they cannot miss the playoffs. They can get in. Now, can the seeding move? Yes, it can. Seeding can definitely move. If the 49ers can win out, that would put us at 13-4 on the season. If the Seahawks were to win out, that would put them at 14-3 for the season. So the thing is if the Seahawks win their next game, we win ours, and then we go into the final stretch and we're tied, we can take that division. We can take the division and we can take the number 1 seed. That's how beautiful this could wind up being for us. So we've got to lock in. We've got to be ready. We've got to want this more than we've ever wanted anything. This is the opportunity for Kyle Shanahan to give himself, a reason to stay. And, with that being said, we see the playoff stuff. I'll stop sharing that. This is what I'm going to say on this. And I know it's a very unpopular opinion because of what he's done here. So what I want to remind you guys of is, I'll say this. Kyle Shanahan's first season, you just kind of write that off. He walked in, he had a bad team. There's not much he could do. Just write that first season off. Next season, I'm not writing that off. You should have had a viable backup in here before Jimmy G decided to be a damn running back and try to, do a spin move, rip his ACL or something like that. I think he tore his ACL. But the thing is, this is the first season that we have been crazily injured, and Kyle Shanahan has actually been able to turn it around and turn it into wins. Because contrary to popular belief, Kyle Shanahan doesn't win every damn year. And I hate when people say that. It drives me insane. I see it from Acho and lots of sports commentators. They're like, year in and year out, Kyle Shanahan puts them in a position to win. Where was we at last year? Like, keep your facts straight. That's all I'm saying. And then that way it doesn't work out. So if Kyle Shanahan is to take this team and go to the Super Bowl and actually get that win, to get that monkey off his back of not being able to win the big game, it opens up a door for him to be able to stay. It gives you reason as Jed York to say, hey, this man pulled it off with a bunch of injured players, no true number 1 receiver, and the guy that nobody really thought was going to be anything, who turned out to be fantastic in Brock Purdy. And he went and found Mac Jones to back him up and help us win games, to keep us afloat, to help us get to this position. Yeah, I can't let that dude go. And he just won the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah, in our house. Don't let the 49ers win the Super Bowl in the Bay Area. The Bay Area will be rocking for weeks. I don't know if the Golden Gate Bridge is going to be able to handle all of the weight that's going to be on it from the people partying. I'm trying to tell you. The 49ers win the Super Bowl, there will be a parade all the way from Frisco down to LA. That's just how it is. Because we're all over California, and we're all over the country. We are everywhere. And just so you know, people out there, shout out to my Mexican people. We run Mexico. That's 49er land. You go down there, dude, that's us. We own that. Cardinals went down there, didn't have no fans. Other teams go down there, they ain't got no fans. But we go down there, we run things. Fred is Mexican. He's part Mexican. Yes. If you ain't seen Fred's jersey, ooh, that gray red. Oh my God, that thing is smooth, boy. It's dope. So the key for us is, and when I say the things that I say, it's because I look at things from a broader spectrum. I don't pick and choose what I like. I look at everything. And Kyle Shanahan has had those 4 seasons where he went to the playoffs, and 2 of them he went to the Super Bowl, and 2 of them he went just to the NFC Championship game. And he's also had those other seasons where we were injury riddled, where we had the most money sitting on the bench. All of these things are true, but if I'm looking at this does tell people that Kyle Shanahan this is the truth of it. That's just how it works. But if he's to be able to pull this off, be a miracle. But it also would wind up earning him probably like a lifetime contract. I guarantee you, Jed York will look and be like, well, Kyle, it's all right. You can chill. Just stay here. But once again, you know what I'm saying? We want everything that we want. And I really do want that staying off of Kyle Shanahan's legacy. I do not. Yeah, he definitely this year is definitely coach of the year type shit for Kyle Shanahan. I don't care what anyone says. The injuries that we face, the things that we have been through, all of the stuff that we've had to endure. Yes, coach of the year, 1,000%. I agree with that. He should get it. If StreamYard would be nice to me. But either way, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Continue to stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed. Have yourselves a great weekend. And one thing I want y'all to remember is you're never alone in this world because God loves you, Jesus loves you, I love you. Stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed, and we out.